I don't know where I put the book.
I have the exact same thing. Hello, everybody. We are here today to do our little Sunday reading sprints because the three of us and Aoife at Pretty Purple Polka Dots, who is unfortunately not able to come today, are reading Babel. Show you beautiful books. Jar, have you found yours?
Mine is just empty.
I will.
Oh, there you go.
I did say to Shannon, I had the same thing. I got myself all like cozy and had all my blankets and my pillows and stuff all set up, and I was like, I am ready to go. I am cozy. I'm ready. Where's the book? Over there. Because I'm like, oh, and apparently we have one person watching so far. Hello to said person. Make yourself known if you so dare.
I think Amelia was going to come and watch.
Oh,
about it. Yeah. I think she thinks we're discussing it, not just doing sprints.
No, I'm. Oh, they've dropped off. We've done.
We're alone.
Something. No, so where are we up to? I know, Charlotte, you've been powering ahead.
Mm-hmm. Not quite powering ahead. I'm a few chapters ahead. Because I just found that I was reading it and I was like reading one chapter at a time. Mm-hmm. I wasn't getting into it and it felt like almost a chore. Yeah. So I think on Wednesday I read a couple of chapters. I was like, oh, actually, it's quite good if you read it like this. And then last night I just sat on the sofa. I mean, it took me like 4 hours to read 50 pages. It took me a long time, but I read quite a bit of it yesterday. I was like, I don't want to go to bed now.
So officially, sorry, Shannon, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, where officially are we meant to be?
So for those who don't know what our plan is, as with the buddy read, the plan is you read one chapter on work days and then try to do 3 chapters during a weekend. So three chapters over 2 days. So officially, we should be getting to the end of chapter 13 today. I can tell you, I'm not there yet.
I've come across something that might actually throw a spanner in the works as well. So there's a couple of interludes throughout the extra chapters. So there's more than 33 chapters.
Rude.
Oh,
I literally read one of them last night. So there's chapter 15, then there's an interlude, then there's chapter 16. I don't know how many interludes there are, but the interlude last night was about Rami. So I think maybe there's an interlude about each character because it's kind of like a background story.
Interesting. No, I didn't. Whenever I'm trying to find out how many chapters there are, I don't want to delve too much in case I read something I shouldn't read. But that is good to know. That's good to know.
Just if anybody thinks, I should be elsewhere.
Well, that's made me realize I am like less than halfway through where we're currently meant to be. Because I'm at the start of chapter 6. So, but I'm still enjoying it, reading it as I'm reading it.
I think that's the important thing, is even if we go off schedule, because I think I set the schedule just to make it seem less terrifying to read in a month, like if you break it down. But I think any way of reading it that keeps you engaged is good.
I know, because I'm over 100 pages and it doesn't feel like it's been like a slog to get there, if that makes sense. I do like the writing. It reads really easily. I keep meaning to say that.
It does, definitely. I'm enjoying most the Oxford references because I can be like, I've been there. Like they keep on talking about like Banbury Road and Woodstock Road, and Banbury Road is where I work. It's a very long road, so unless you know, you won't be able to find me. But yeah, no, it's quite fun. It's like, oh, you're using this for this. But yeah, no. Anything else people wanted to say before we just launch straight into half an hour?
I'm happy to jump straight in because I'm pumped.
Oh yeah, and I should have said I'm partway through chapter 9 So I'm a little bit behind where I should have been on chapter 11 by the end of Friday, and I just did not read at all yesterday. I will say I filmed, edited, and scheduled 3 videos yesterday, so it wasn't a complete loss of a day.
Yeah.
I did stuff. I didn't see any. I didn't go outside, and I didn't see any other people, but I did something.
But sometimes that's necessary, so yeah. It's all good.
Okay. It's been a while since I've done a live, so let's see if I remember how to.
I know it didn't even remember me. Do you know sometimes when you like join and then it has your name and stuff up already? It didn't this time, so I was like, oh, it's been so long, it doesn't even remember who I am. Yeah.
How do I share the silly screen?
Is it the present button?
Yeah, the present button.
Oh, great.
I know
Okay,
it's a quite daunting button. It's like I don't want to present.
It has been a long time since we all know.
That's so true. I missed it though. It's so cute.
Yeah. That's what I want to share. Yep. There we go. We all seeing this?
Yes.
And if I, yeah, there we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Nope. Hold on.
you. He's so scare you. A mile.
Oh, he's such a baby. Hello.
I have to stop calling her the kitten because
She's growing. Look at her. She's so much bigger.
she's bigger than Esty.
Majestic.
If you, Esty and her are sat next, she's a lot bigger than Esty. Esty kitten next to her. It's weird. And she's only 8 months old. She's still going to grow for another year and a half.
Wow.
Oh, she does.
It's quite funny because I've put it on TV and she's just seen herself, so she's ran right up to the screen.
Yeah, we all do it. How do we find that?
Good, good. I'm almost at the end of that chapter. And then chapter 7 is short, thankfully.
Yeah. I am partway through chapter 10. I think I'm about 7 or 8 pages off, starting 11. This is good.
1 page left of chapter 16.
Good,
I feel bad. I should have continued on so you could finish.
I mean, I would have finished it if I hadn't been up and down that entire time, but I kept hearing cats meowing at the door and it took my plate back through.
Oh,
I had a bit of adjustment time because I've realised I've not read with nothing in my ears, no like instrumental sound or anything, or just people around. So I was hearing silence. Right. So thank you to my friend Becky, who has a fantastic period dramas playlist on Spotify. I tend to use that a lot for reading.
oh.
So I've been reading to the soundtrack to Anna Karenina.
I go through phases where sometimes I really enjoy having like music or something on in the background while I read, and then at the moment I need like pure silence to read at the minute, which is very annoying at work because there's always screaming students everywhere, and I'm just like, shut up.
The way you talk about your job, Shannon, you wouldn't think you worked at a university. You'd think you worked at like a primary school or something.
I know. Yeah. Well, it is like working at a primary school because, yeah, the fact that I had to like, oh yeah, you guys know about that, scold that person for not saying thank you, which was just so
I'm
rude.
very proud of you for this.
Yeah, and then it was just when she came back and basically asked me for something else, and I just snapped. I was like, well, no, because the last time you were rude and you didn't say thank you. So oh, it's so sunny here. That's the first time I've seen blue sky in so long.
Oh,
No, it's cloudy.
yeah, we're fairly overcast. Have you had much snow shower?
I live like literally right by the sea, so where I live we don't get snow. But I've been working in the lakes the last this week, so I've been down in Ambleside and Windermere and Kendal, and there's been loads of snow on the mountains, which has just been beautiful to drive through.
Yeah, my parents were sending me photos of the snow in Huddersfield. And everything had said, oh no, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick, and they've got this blanket of snow, which makes me excited and makes them horrified. But nothing in Oxford.
We just get rain. There's too much salt in the air for the snow.
My downstairs neighbours are like banging. Okay.
Shannon, I can see your fish.
Yes. Sorry, I would show you, but it's tank cleaning day, so it does not look great. But yeah, I can hear them. I like hearing them like moving the gravel and stuff. They're so cute.
Is it expensive to run the tank?
No,
because I'm considering getting one.
Yeah, so obviously, it's got the light, it's got the temperature, the thing to keep it at the right temperature, and the filter. And literally, it's like normally my thing is always at like 5p an hour, and that's my fridge, which is really annoying. And I think it is it's the same. So it must be like so small that it's like less than a penny, like. So, Johnny, what are you doing? Johnny likes it by the temperature thing. He's always like, it's nice and toasty here. And baby's just like swimming around. Yeah, it's cute in their little tower thing. They do scare me sometimes because I come in and I can't see them like at all. And then there's one of the ornaments, the tower at the bottom. It's got like a ledge, so they sleep like, because you can see through the middle of it, but you still can't see them because they're like underneath. They like sleeping underneath it. It's very cute.
I have to go after this and do a little bit of shopping. Go on to dinner, so I might pop into Pets at Home because it's right next to where I need to go and just see what I can do.
I mean, obviously,
a bad idea. I don't think fish are great to have when you've got 3 cats.
Well, this is the thing: is pets at home can be very dangerous, and I know this from my sister and my niece. Going, I don't know if it was Pets at Home. It was one of the pet shops. Came in, and then I get this message that this was last year. Message back, at them being like, "We've done something." I was like, "What have you done?" She sends me a photo of a box, and they'd bought a hamster. And I'm like, "Steph, you have 2 cats." She's like, "No, it's fine." It's fine. It's fine. Fast forward to now where they're like, should never have got a hamster. This was a bad idea. Like the cats are fine with the hamster. They've kind of like learnt to live with him. But like I'm just like, this was a bad idea. You're gonna terrify the poor thing. Plus, Colin the hamster has to deal with Emmy, who is not a gentle person. She's like, look at
oh.
It's like, he's fine. I'm like, he doesn't look fine. He looks terrified.
That's so funny.
Like they treat him well, but this hamster is not having an easy life.
Oh,
I can't get into the house because it's too cold and it would die.
I know, because even though my fish are like the temperate water, which is kind of like room temperature, because it's really cold in here, I have to have the temperature thing on to keep it at it's on the like lowest setting, because the temperature thing is normally I think for like the tropical fishies, but it's so cold in here that I still needed to use it because they weren't swimming for quite a while because they were too cold. And then I was like, oh no, my little fishies, but they're fine now.
It just feels like never-ending cold at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to spring.
Can't be long. Can't be long. So I feel like we've had a couple of cold snaps, but not like we had last year. And I don't know how much that is like. I'm in warmer houses than I was when I first lived in Kissington, because that house was freezing. So like from October to February, I was just permanently in icicle. It's not great for me.
No, I agree. Even though we had that like small period where it was like minus something, it was nowhere near as bad as last year.
I don't remember last year being particularly cold.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to launch back in?
I want to finish my chapter.
And then we can let Shah go to do that. I also need to do a food shop at some point today.
I'm not going until like 3 o'clock. So I'm not in any rush.
But also when I know I've got something like that on, my brain is like, well, we can't do anything until we've done that job or done that appointment. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go. Hello, friends. How are we holding up?
Like on the last page of a chapter, probably.
I am about 10 pages off the end of this one, and then, I'll be starting book 3. So I'm halfway through chapter 12.
I've literally got a paragraph left of this chapter.
Yes.
And then I can start chapter 8, and then that will be me with the 3 chapters this weekend. I'm still behind, but it's okay.
That sounds good.
Yes.
We've had some more friends join in. Hello, Karen. And hello, Brian. Oh gosh, that must be early.
Oh.
It's in Texas. Goodness me.
Has StreetNet always told you what time people commented? Or is that new?
That's a very
good question. It's been so long since I've used it. So that is useful.
It was my phone that was pinging.
The neighbours are doing up the living room, so they're banging on my wall.
Oh yeah, it was the same as downstairs. They've stopped now, thankfully.
I live near school, and we've just had these a planning letter come through to say that they're going to be doing works around the school for the next few months. I'm like, oh yay! Good fun. So are we still enjoying ourselves?
Yes. Yeah. No, there was a bit just now, and it kind of reminded me of I think everyone who's been to university has experienced this. It was like that small moment where they're all in one of the girls' apartments, and he says that they're all laughing because they can smell pears. That bit, but then no one has any pears, and they're trying to they're finding it hysterical that they can smell pears, but there are no pears. And it's I remember that at university where you'd all be in the kitchen, and something that wasn't that funny would be hilarious, and you'd all be cackling and happy and whatever. So it was oh yes, that's cute.
But where I am, things. I mean, it's a generally a dark book, but it's starting to get
I can
very much
yeah
coming to the forefront, the danger element. But I also know it's just getting going. I don't feel like we've probably dove into.
Charles I know so much, but I can't say anything.
I mean, what chapter are you on now, Charlotte? Chapter 12?
So I'm in 12. I'm on page 210.
So I'm on the last few pages of chapter 17. And book 3, I feel completely shifts. That's all I will say. I can't remember what chapter the shift happens, but you won't be.
So I'm about to get into book 3, and I can feel things are going to go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I was expecting from Babel. But when I initially saw it, I was like, nah, it's probably not for me. But I remember I had a very long voice note from my friend Rachel, who had read it when it first came out, and she was like, Charlotte, I realised this is still on screen. These are the reasons that you absolutely must read Babel, and it'll be the best thing that you do. And it was a long voice note. So I was like, well, if Rachel tells me, I feel like she knows me well enough. So yeah, a year later, here we are. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I don't feel like the fantasy element has well and truly kicked in as much as I think it's going to.
I don't know. It's going to be much fantasy, because even where I am, is there meant to be any more fantasy other than the silver bars? I can't get my head around them. I'm just
what they do.
And I don't. When they're talking about the bars and what they do and how they work, I'm like, cool. Don't get it, but cool. We'll just.
I mean, I'm glad you said that, because I feel I vaguely feel like get it, but then also there's like a missing step, and I'm like, did I just read it wrong? Did she explain it and I've not quite got there, or is it that I'm waiting a little bit longer for it to be explained, or is it in that general like low fantasy mode of being like, they exist and we're not going to give you much. You just have to accept it.
Potentially. I understand them as a metaphor.
Yes, I like the metaphor of them. I think the metaphor is very clever.
Yeah, I understand that part of them, but when I'm reading it, I'm just like, it gets to a point where I don't think this is spoilers at all. Like, they're doing their exams and they have to like make the bars work, and they talk in depth about them, and I'm like, I was just reading like, I like this linguistics part. I love hearing about the different words and the meanings and where they come from. But when you start talking about how these bars work, no, I'm out. Bye. And it's not even a particularly like I've read fantasy books with really complex magic systems, so I don't know if maybe it's just too simple that I'm like, or maybe we're just not meant to know. Maybe
it's meant to be vague.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to say as well, and I'm glad that you said that it seems more historical and dark academia than the fantasy, whereas I was expecting it, I think, to be more heavily fantasy, because I know that obviously her other books are fantasy books. So I'm really liking the fact that it feels more historical and dark academia.
Have you read The Poppy War, Shannon?
I haven't, but I think I want to after reading this.
So I read The Poppy War in like 3 or 4 days, like really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think there's a very similar writing style.
Good, okay.
It's very detailed with history, and there's a lot of history in The Poppy War as well. But it's a lot faster paced, I've found.
Oh, cool. Yeah, see, I wasn't expecting this to be like the writing, even though obviously it looks kind of dense. It reads really quickly and easily, but then also it's got that like, I'm really enjoying the writing style. So I'm glad that you said that about The Poppy War, because I think I'm going to read them now, which is exciting. I like reading books by new authors.
I've been like digging around because I was kind of hoping that she would have like a full bibliography at the end of this for what she's been inspired by, and I know she does at the beginning in the author's note talk about like histories of Oxford that she used, but I'm like, I want more. I want to know what else she was reading to like craft this, because I do get very sucked in to when there is a bit of like a historical world info dump, which I shouldn't, because usually I find info dumping a bit.
Well,
I am getting into it.
Yeah, I'm glad that because I realized when I was just over page 100 that I feel like a lot of other books I've read that either are fantasy or whatever, or are set in like, or historical, they take sometimes a lot of time to build up the setting before you kind of get into the story. Whereas I feel like she did a really good job of just like getting you into it like that without a lot of like dumpy information, if that makes sense. Because thinking about like when the whole thing happens, when he meets, is it Griffin? That happens really early. If you think about,
I was actually quite surprised.
Yeah. So, I'm very impressed so far. Oh, but I've got another question, Charlotte, about the name of the river in Oxford, because I think they just mentioned it, and I did not realize that's what it was called.
Cherwell, or
I don't know.
Because you've got the Thames, you got the Cherwell, and then there's probably another one in my brain.
Shannon, I was the same. I just, when it said the name of the river, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was called. I didn't know what it was called.
I swear they said it was something begin with an S. Either that or I read it wrongly.
Oh.
Where am I?
No, our main ones are the Cherwell and the Thames.
Yeah, because it says about something about someone falling into the frozen Isis. And it's a capital I. So obviously something frozen has to be like water, right?
Yeah, there is the Isis, which is the 10th.
Okay, then. There we go. Cool. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah. This came up recently because I've got some friends who do this sport korfball, and they've been trying to recruit people in. And there are 3 korfball teams in Oxford, and one of them it's called ISIS because of the river. And everyone's like, should it still be called that? And they're like, well, it's historically what it's called.
Yeah.
They can't really help that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's
Kieran, our Sunday sprints returning with a vengeance. They will peak 2021. Well, I know we're definitely having one next week. Is that on your channel, Charlotte, or is it going to be on Ethan?
Mine are on the 24th.
On the 24th. And then potentially Eva might be doing one next week.
Is it the
Which we decided to start doing because of the fact that we will be reading Babel. But to be honest, I'm not opposed to doing Sunday sprints again. But maybe not this month because I've got a lot of. I'm going to London every weekend from next weekend until the 1st of March. So I'm a bit busy, but I do like it. It's a good solid chunk of reading time on a weekend.
The first thing, when I came back to BookTube, the amount of people who said to me "Oh, our Sunday sprint's coming back," and I was like, "Yes, I'm going to start them." And then I got really, really ill for that 3 weeks. And now I've got plans every Sunday for the next few weeks, and I just don't know if I can do them. Next weekend I'm getting a tattoo.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I see Milena will do them every now and then, and every time I see the notification pop up, I'm like, oh, sprints. It was a nice time. So yeah, I guess if anybody is about, maybe March onwards, and is interested in hopping in on a sprint, then
yeah,
what we think.
Yeah, what we could do, we could try and obviously because we've got the group chat, so we could try and every month or every couple of months schedule, sort of say who wants to do them when, because obviously I know that people's, like you say, plans are different and stuff. But yeah, I miss them too because, like you say, I don't normally read on the weekend. I get most of my reading done at work, so this is very nice.
It's only taken me 9 months of my job to actually start listening to audiobooks when I drive. So in my work week, about 10 hours is spent driving, and I'm I could read and listen to so many audiobooks in that time, but I just didn't. I always just had music on, and now I've started to put the audiobooks on. It's so much better, and I don't know why it took me so long to actually do it.
See, I will audiobook. I mean, I don't drive, so changes things up. But I do audiobook anywhere and everywhere, including at work, unless I've got a very intense writing task to do. So I find it easy to slip in. But I feel I've never had to drive with one in, or one playing.
I don't know how, because
it's a different kind of concentration, I feel, than music.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't know if I would be able to, as an early driver, I don't think I'd be able to listen to audiobooks because I would have to, the concentration of driving and also listening to an audiobook. I don't think I'd be able to do that. Obviously, as you become a more confident driver, it'd probably be easier.
Automatic car.
I know.
That's literally.
I mean, this might be what I need to actually get to drive, because this. Okay, so granted, it was 8 years since I last had a lesson, but I spent the entire time I thought I was a fairly somewhat intelligent person. I thought I was a fairly capable person, but the second I'm in a car, I'm like,
me. Thank you very much.
metal cage of death. Anything could happen. It's a lot. And it's just
Yeah, it took me a long time. Yeah, I took 18 months to learn how to drive, which is a long time. And I was having 2-hour lessons every week. It was it was expensive. It took me a long time. It was really stressful. I learnt to drive in Leicester, which probably wasn't the best idea. Even now that I've been driving nearly 5 years, I still get really anxious driving in Leicester. And my first car nearly made me never want to drive again. As soon as I got this automatic car, it changed my life. So now whenever my friends who are like anxious about driving or just worried or just like it took me too long to learn, automatic cars are the way forward, because you literally just have to stop it and start it, which gives you more time to focus on the road, more time to think about like what you're doing. It just takes away so much stress. And I don't get why people get so like arsey about automatic drivers. Like the amount of people who say to me, oh, so you can't drive properly then. Like I can. I learned to drive in a manual car, but I hated it that much. I got an automatic car and it changed my life. And why is it? Like, why? Surely it's better to be a safer driver.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, what is actually?
Yeah, that's so true.
Why are you superior because you change gear and know how to clutch when you don't have to?
Yeah, when you don't have to.
Yeah. I had this conversation with them because one of my friends does drive an automatic, and another one was like, well, like you said, well, you're properly driving. I was like, for me, as somebody who has no interest really in cars, like a car gets you from point A to point B, and hopefully you get there without incident. I probably should say that quietly because I'm in a house with people who work in motorsport, so I'm the one person who's just let the odd one out. Like, but yeah, no, I don't get the car snobbery. It just gets you to a place. That's all I need. I mean, I'm lucky in Oxford that public transport is somewhat reliable and we have very good cycle lanes. So I can get about, unless I need to get like further out into Oxfordshire, and then I do need to beg for a lift from someone. But in my day-to-day, it's not the worst thing in the world.
See, that's the thing now, is that obviously my work is literally like a 7-minute walk from leaving my front door to being sat at my desk. So my excuse is, oh, there's no point in me learning how to drive now because like I don't need to, blah blah blah. But that might be changing soon. But that's all I'm going to say, because I haven't really done anything yet. But I have a phone number in which I need to contact to do some organising, because I realise something needs to change in my life, and that's one thing I can do. Huh?
The village I live in is like there isn't a bus, so you have like my cousin lives on the same street as me and she doesn't drive, and I genuinely don't understand how she survives, because I'm like, how do you get anywhere? Her partner drives, so obviously she's reliant on him and like her mum, who also lives on the village. But I'm like, if I didn't have a car, I would be stuck. Like when I ruined the brakes on my car and I couldn't drive for a week, I was so trapped. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And the way that like Cumbria is, you have to drive.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. It's the same. If I moved back to Huddersfield, I would need to learn how to drive, because it's not very fair to be like, Mum, Dad, pick me up places. Yeah. I would have to live. I'd either have to drive or situate myself in a city like Leeds to be able to do anything, and that's expensive, even up north. Now, I was thinking this, Brian. Like, I know most people do use automatic in the States, so I don't get what the issue is here.
Yeah, and they're all going to be automatic cars soon anyway, because all electric cars are automatic.
Are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, all electric cars are automatic, and they're stopping making petrol and diesel cars eventually, and we're all going to have to go to electric, which don't know how it'll work in Cumbria, because that just sounds like a nightmare. Then everyone's going to be driving automatics anyway.
That's a very good point.
Although I was driving to a village for work the other day, and there was a horse and carriage, and it wasn't like It wasn't something for. It wasn't like an event thing. It wasn't like you could hire it. It was this old man who does just go everywhere by horse and carriage. Because when I got to my client, I said, "Oh my god, I was stuck behind an actual guy in a horse and carriage," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Bob."
Oh, hi, Bob.
He wasn't called Bob. I can't remember his name. Yeah, it's Bob, and that's how he gets around. He goes into Carlisle on his horse and carriage.
Old school. I love that.
That reminds me, I've only seen this guy twice, but he only seems to emerge, between like 9 and 10 o'clock at night, because that's obviously like a quieter time for Oxford city centre. But I have twice walked down George Street in the middle of Oxford centre and seen a unicyclist just like going about his life like this is the most ordinary day. And it's like he is my favourite person in Oxford. I need to know who he is. But that, yeah, similar vibes.
His core must be like, because I feel
Yeah.
like a unicycle, your core and your balance has to be very strong, especially if you're going a very long distance. That would not be my choice. No, thank you.
I've also seen great things with cyclists. As I say, cycle paths in Oxford are pretty good. At least they're much better than they are up north. And I remember I was on the way to rehearsal, just walking up the Botley Road, and there's this girl who I do not condone this. I don't think you should do this, but one hand she was on the phone, other hand she had a punnet of strawberries and was just eating them. So no hands on her handlebars, just going. I was like, I'm very impressed by the core strength, but also you run like a busy road.
How was she eating strawberries if she had a phone?
I don't know. But she's doing it. Just go for it. I loved it. It's my favorite, one of my favorite pedestrian stories. Anyway.
Well,
but no,
I hope it was a straight road, because if you've got to turn a corner, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's one of the long roads. Long road out to Botley. Not that means anything. But no. But yeah, because I have to walk. I have to walk about a mile or so out from the city centre to get to rehearsal each Thursday. And so yeah, you see stuff. Get my steps in.
Do you still bike?
I have my bike, but my bike has had a puncture in it since December, and I have not gotten around to fixing that yet because I'm a scared cyclist. No, I will get it fixed, and then I need to build my confidence back up because I live a little bit further out from work than I did in my last house. So yeah, eventually we'll get back on the bike because it's good for you.
Yeah.
I just spend all of my time like terrified I'm going to
die. That's fair.
Because I have no sense of direction. I have no balance. I'm a liability on the road. But everybody does it in Oxford, so I need to get there. Get my fitness up. Okay. How are we feeling? Are we are you needing to make moves?
Well, I was going to say, did we want to do one more? And then
I'm
that would be good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay!
I
thought we were only doing two. This is very fun. Okay, lovely. Get ready, friends.
Well, I might be able to get up to book 4.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, we're resetting. And 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
I got so into it, I didn't realise what the time was.
You know what I mean? When you sit down and like properly give it a go, it's quite addictive.
Yes.
I got up to
Yeah.
4 and there was like something massive happened and I was shook and I was like, I'm gonna have to leave it there because I didn't want to get halfway through the next chapter and have to stop.
Yeah, I think I'm probably near the end of this one, so yes, I am. Which is perfect because then that's my 3 chapters done.
Yeah. So I've gotten into chapter 14. So I'm good. I've caught up with where I said I was wanting to be. Yeah. No. So in total, so I started on around about 162. I'm now on 242. So I say a good morning's progress.
Yeah. I don't know how much I read actually.
Well, I've read about 40 pages.
Yeah, I've read about 50 pages.
Oh, yeah, not bad.
Which doesn't feel like a lot for an hour and a half of reading.
Well, we have been chatting as well. So.
Yeah, but we've had 3 30-minute sprints, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm enjoying actually like sitting down with a longer book and just letting myself read it, not feeling like I have to race through and finish things, which is kind of how I wanted like my reading to be this year. Because I find I think it's a booktube thing, but it's like I've got to power through, I've got to read loads and loads of books, so I don't pick up the big ones. And I'm doing better at picking up bigger books and just savouring them.
Yeah, I read I started reading, obviously my big book for last year was finally reading the Priory of the Orange Tree. So, but then I've immediately replaced that with the other one, which is bigger. So, but yeah. But no, it does feel good to read the big books.
And it's just, you can sit with the story and just the general world for a bit longer, which is nice. I mean, it's nice if you're enjoying it, but if you're not, then obviously.
I realised, again, I haven't...
No, there's something nice about it.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot of contemporary and literary fiction, which I don't think I'd realised I'd been doing. So it's very nice to be, like you say, absorbed in a different kind of world. Yeah.
I don't know what to say because I'm just like, I feel content.
Yeah, no, I'm so relaxed. It's nice. But I definitely need another cup of tea and some water.
Yeah, I think at 12:15, I probably do need to get out of my pajamas. Actually go do jobs. But yeah, we're feeling good.
Thank you for spending Sunday morning with me. It's been fun. It's been good.
Yeah, I feel sad that I can't do the next 2, but I hope you have fun and get a lot done.
You can watch them on you can watch them after.
I can.
Yeah, just pretend.
Actually, 1 second. Let me check my calendar. So if we've got them next week. Yeah, I definitely can't do the 25th, but I might be able to do the 18th because I'm going to London on the Saturday. I think I just said maybe I can't, just in case I wake up on Sunday and I'm like, no.
Who's doing them on the 18th?
Is it Aoife's next week?
I can't do that. I will be getting tattooed.
Well, I don't know what time she's doing them. I can't see them scheduled anywhere yet. So
no, maybe I'm just misremembering. I'm checking.
Oh yeah, the 16th, Aoife's ones. What time are they?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
5 o'clock.
Yeah. Is that the one where it's not necessarily going to be Babel, but
Yeah,
she
it's
is hosting?
her
Yeah.
wheel of
There we go.
sprints.
My memory, goodness me.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
going to be
yeah.
at work then. That's boring. And then I'm going out for a meal afterwards. It's fine.
Thank you, guys. This was lovely. And thank you to everybody who's been watching and reading along. I hope you got some good reading done. And we will see you. The Babel is confirmed on the 25th. Yes? 25th? 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 One of those.
Yeah,
Saturday
it'll be the Saturday the 24th.
the 24th. That will be the next like dedicated Babel one. But as I say, Aoife is hosting sprints on this Friday, coming Friday. So yeah.
I could do some like midweek, not the week coming, but the week after because I'm off work.
Hey.
I just realised. But then obviously, I don't know if there's much point doing the midweek because everyone else is at work.
I might
definitely.
I'm knackered.
Do it.
I need
Yeah,
a break.
I just took a week off for my show, and every time I get to the end of the show week, I'm like during the week I'm very glad that I'm off work, and then I get to end of show week and I'm like, why did I take show week off and not the week after? Because I've been doing stuff the whole time. So speaking of the show, they mention Oliver Twist in the chapters that I've been doing, so I'm like, some super like timey-wimey nonsense going on there that is linking up very well with my life. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling at this point. Anywho, goodbye, everybody. Lovely to have you.